Welcome back to the Breakfast Show, ladies and gentlemen. The time right now, 10 minutes past 9 a.m. And for those of you who've just joined us, you have come and, sit down on the couch, watch your TV because you're just in time to add some spice into your relationship. Yes, you've had the honeymoon period, you've met the woman of your dreams. Oh, she's so beautiful, she's gorgeous, she's perfect for me. Since 3 years, since 5 years, suddenly, why did I fall in love with this woman again? Where's the spice in our relationship? We pass each other just like we're roommates. We're no longer in love. What has happened? Well, sexuality is one of the most important areas of a relationship, especially in a marriage. So, of course, to express yourself sexually in a relationship definitely deepens the bonds between one another. Of course, to speak more about this topic and also how you can inject some spice and, of course, reminisce on all your hot honeymoon days. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back Heiko and Selina, international releases with 29 years of experience combined. Thank you so much for coming back on our show.
Thank you for having us.
And love gurus, please teach us some wisdom, especially for our viewers out there as well. Now, let's start off with common causes of how couples tend to drift apart after some time. Heiko, would you like to start this one off?
Well, we'll find that, first of all, it's often communication, lack of communication. Are you taught in school or anywhere how to communicate sexually to your partner?
Exactly. No, just to communicate, Right?
Yeah, exactly, just communication. You're taught math and geography, anything, but are you taught to express what you really like sexually, or what you need, or what you feel, right? So there's a block already to really say, and there's a block of shame, guilt, fear of judgment, rejection, or mistrust, Am I going to be rejected if I express what I really like, I really wish for?
I'm going to stop you there because I want to ask Selina, is this problem more prevalent among men or women in terms of expressing themselves?
I think both, but more women.
But more women, yeah?
Yeah, I think there's a program very much around women expressing their sexuality. It can't be too, what would be called, overt.
Or risk being looked at in a low light. Yeah?
Yes, exactly. So women tend to not be able to express what they want sexually to their husbands even though they've been married,
And is this more prevalent in a more conservative Asian culture, or is it prevalent around the world?
Around the world. Doesn't matter what area, doesn't matter what level of society, really it's all the same.
But even more, I would say, in Asia, because of the culture.
Because of the culture as well, yeah.
Such a taboo subject, isn't it, for most people? You either laugh about it or you don't talk about it.
Or there's the nervous laughter.
Yeah, jokes around it. Jokes are okay, but not real talk about it.
Exactly. And that's the root that we're trying to pinpoint over here. Really sitting down and talking about it. Now, of course, you've mentioned the shyness and so on and so forth, but after a few years, all that would definitely be addressed, right? Or am I wrong?
No, very often after some time, only the real blocks come to the surface. Of course, there are other things too, that you start to take maybe your partner for granted. You don't see him in a new light, him or her in a new light. And there's no real gratitude and appreciation anymore, so it's not so fresh.
So you expect to fill up your end of the bargain in the relationship or marriage.
And the communication stops.
That's where things get dangerous, yeah? So, let's open it up a little bit more. When communication stops, Selina, what happens to the couple, honestly?
Well, then trust goes down. So it's all about trust. I mean, sexuality is such an intimate part of ourselves. From the early days, it's such a taboo subject, so we don't talk about it with our parents, we don't talk about it with our friends, really, except, as I said, in a joke. And so this precious part, you have to trust that your partner loves it as much as you, loves you totally, including all your fantasies, all your loves, your likes, your body completely. And if there's also personal insecurity about oneself, it gets translated to the partner.
And how you treat your partner.
Yes, how you treat your partner. So it's trust for oneself and love for oneself and from the partner.
So from the experience of international releases, what are the more deep-set issues that people have in terms of releasing? Or maybe something happened when they were much younger, maybe, Could you elaborate on that?
Well, there's something in general, how sex is looked upon. Because it's often seen as something dirty or something that you don't talk about. That's already a block. It's a taboo.
Guilt comes in.
Guilt,
so when you talk about it, you already
fear.
feel, yeah, maybe I shouldn't be talking about it.
A lot of guilt, a lot of shame. That's the basic level,
And also maybe experiences that happened before.
Yes, traumatic sexual experiences, even being molested, you know, and you'd be surprised many people have been molested and never talked about it, and it comes up. So there's a lot of shame and guilt around sex.
So what we'd like to express to our viewers is, it's not your fault. It's never your fault, isn't it?
Yes, it's programming.
Yeah, it's
again, you know, sex is dirty. Sex is guilt. Is something to be seen as a sin. You know, you cannot explore it, cannot express it.
So what could couples do as a stepping stone to break some of those inhibitions?
Release.
Release, yeah.
Release. Learn how to release, and then learn how to communicate. Release the fear of rejection. Release whatever there is that blocks that energy. Imagine like a water fountain, right? The water should flow. But imagine you put little stones in top, so the water gets stuck.
I see.
And same like feelings of guilt, shame, or fear, they're like those stones that keep that fountain blocked.
I like this.
When you let that go, the energy goes up and flows. And the sexual energy is not just affecting the sexual life, also every other area of your life.
Exactly. I mean, what people fail to understand is once you have great sexual relations with your partner, everything else seems to be to fall into place.
Yes, yes, you fall in love again and again with each other, you know. Everything else, the flaws don't come into focus so much, you know, or hardly at all, because it's really about how intimate you get together. The closeness, really becoming one. It's so important for every relationship, every marriage, you know.
True, true, true. But okay, here's another good point to sort of come across for our viewers as well. Different people have different needs. How about meeting those needs, and also when you talk about fantasies as well, or different things to spice up that relationship? How do you put your best foot forward, especially if you've got something, you know, you don't want your wife to look down upon you, sort of thing. So how does one get across that? You
risk a little bit first.
And risk, some marriages you risk a lot.
Is it worth the risk, right? You know, if you would risk that an openness and vulnerability in a sexual life as much as when you try to be an entrepreneur or in your career, like when you sit in the studio, you put yourself a bit at risk, right?
That's true.
Right? But,
lots of risk.
But you gave it a first shot, right? And it worked out well. If it doesn't straight away, you try it again. You just don't give up.
And communicate about that.
So communication and simply not giving up, yeah? So after that, probably that, if, let's say my wife and I wanted to spice things up and go, no, maybe you should wear something nice, or maybe nice lingerie will start off really well.
Or she asks you to wear something different.
Exactly. That's what the point I wanted to go. What if she turns to me and says, why don't you put on something?
And so would you.
Exactly. That's where you have to go, okay, there are things I would do, there are things I won't do.
Yes.
So how do you...
That needs to be talked about. We always suggest first you come from I. You don't start with like, you know, you don't satisfy me anymore or less. You say, okay, I feel this and this. You don't go into blame. First of all, you take 100% responsibility for your sexual life and your relationship.
All right, that's a good approach as well. Basically, if you start going, you don't satisfy me sexually anymore, it sets the other partner on the defensive.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then the trust goes down again. Now it's my fault, I've done something wrong, I'm not enough.
Oh no.
Right? So the trust level goes down.
Self-esteem takes a beating.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
So it has to work both ways. And with the fantasies, it's about exploring each other's fantasies. Because the man might think, you know, something wrong with me, I've got all these fantasies, and if I expose it, she might not love me as much. She'll look down on me. But she might be thinking the same thing.
Now that's a revelation.
So who's going to start first?
Dear wife, if you're watching, we'll have a few words at home after this. Thank you so much for sharing some of your experience with us. And of course, the Love Gurus will be having a workshop on the 13th of October. It's sort of a warm-up session before the Singles Cruise Asia kicks off. So of course, if you're one of those thinking you need a bit of spice, doesn't matter if you're still single, more importantly, even if you're married, there's no problem asking out or reaching out to people who will help you. So it's happening at the Melia, Kuala Lumpur. Of course, the website to take a look at is www.singlescruiseasia.com. And of course, you've got a number to call as well, 01230 77727. The number is on our screens right about now. So let's wrap things up. Maybe a few releasing statements that you can sort of share with our viewers to maybe start the ball rolling.
Okay, first of all, very often there's an insecurity about people's own body. So what you can say is...
All viewers can say that.
You say, I release to criticize my body. I release to judge my body. I release to not love my body just as it is. And I choose to accept my body as it is right now and love it the way it is right now.
Wow. Very, not an easy statement to make. Especially.
Yes,
Say, I release.
Okay.
Say, I release to judge my body.
To judge my
or
body.
Criticize my body.
Or criticize my body.
Or tell my body.
Or tell my body.
That it shouldn't be the way it is right now.
That it shouldn't be the way it is right now.
And I choose.
And I choose.
To completely love my body right now.
To completely love my body right now.
The way it is.
The way it is. You know, even just saying it makes you feel better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Already. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And one more thing everybody can say, all viewers can say is, I release
I release
all guilt and shame.
all guilt and shame.
About my sexuality.
About my sexuality.
I release that now.
Wow. Well, if our viewers were to just take that step and say those words, it's a positive step forward for you to have a fulfilling relationship. Once again, Selina, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nas.
Thank you so much. You are my model couple. And hopefully you guys will learn a few things as well on the 13th of October at Milia, Kuala Lumpur. And we'll plug it again at the end of the show, no worries. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here on The Breakfast Show.